Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, we are from the fourth group. We will present with the first meet with the title Sastra English. And with the member are Aufa Maula and Elsya Asrani, and with me Rifqi Fauzi. Screen please. Next.
Wait.
For the first introduction, the scope of literature is creative creation, while the scope of literature studies in science with literature as its object. Literature does focus on creativity, while the study of literature focuses on science. The responsibility of literature is aesthetic, while the responsibility of literary studies is scientific logics. So in this slide, the literature is so creative creation or are so important for who has in do for creative creation. Next slide. For the next text and context, literature whether is literary works, literary criticism, or literary theory must be written in text form. Therefore, there are literary texts, literary criticism texts, and literary theory texts. All of them are called literary texts or just texts. However, because the emphasis of literature is literary works, the emphasis of literary texts or texts known other than literary works, not other. So text and context is uh, between by some parts. Like example, literary criticism or literary theory must be written in the next form, or literary text, or etc. Next slide. For the next literary study branch, there are three parts. There is literary theory. Its meaning is a rule to be applied in the analysis of literary works. For the second, literary criticism is the application of certain rules in the analysis of literary works. For the third, the history of literature is the meaning is the history of literary development. Okay, maybe the next will explain with Elsa. Time is here.
Okay, I will continue the presentation of this in this time. So I will explain a little bit about the literature. There are two types of literature. There are interpretive and escape literature. Okay, so we will know the difference between interpretive and escape literature. Okay, start from the interpretive literature. It's a literature to be interpret, like the name. Someone who made it or want to the readers to interpret this literature. Okay, so there are some what is that kinds of interpretive literature. For example, number one, stimulate the reader to interpret the literary work, like the name. What is that? Someone who make the literature is want to the reader to interpret their literary work, like that. Next, encourage readers to reflect. Okay, so Usually, this kind of literature is asking the reader to uh, what is that understanding the literary work. So if they are reflecting it, it means they will understand it more. Next, the last one is add insight to the reader's life. So after reading and understanding this kind of literature, someone who made this literature want the reader to get what is that more knowledge or insight of life. Next, it's about escape literature. It's a kind of literature for escape, like the name. Yeah, for the first one, literary works to escape bored daily routines or a difficult problem to solve. Okay, so this kind of literature is designed to the readers who is bored or maybe bored of the daily routines or having some difficulties in problem to solve. So if they are bored or having some problems, they can read this kind of literature and they got better like that. Next, the function is to cheer up the reader, make them happy, make the reader happy after reading and understanding this kind of literature. Next, doesn't leave a serious impression. Okay, because this kind of literature is just have to make the readers happy or cheer up on them. So it doesn't leave any serious impression. Just make it fun like that. The last one, it contains wishful thinking or dreams that are impossible to achieve. Yeah, usually this kind of literature is just kind of making some imagination to the readers. So for example, in the story, there is someone that happy, very, very happy. So the readers will also feels like the one that in the story like that. They are hoping to have that kind of happiness too. So that's it, the interpretive and escape literature and the differences between them. Next will be presented by Alpha.
Yeah, for the next material is literature criteria. In addition of the divisions of serious literature and entertainment literature, there are also criteria for measuring the aesthetic value of a literary work. In general, entertainment literature is not considered as literature, so this criteria only applies to non-entertainment literature. Next, some of the commonly used criteria include: first, at the time of Aristotle, there were only two genres, poetry and drama. Drama is divided into three subgenres: tragedy, comedy, and tragedy comedy. Because drama is also written in genre of poetry, a good literary work is considered to have a high poetic value. The poetic value of a tragedy determined by three factors. There is pity, terror, and colorist. Pity is for the viewer or reader to feel pity for the character in the drama or in poetry. And the second is terror. Terror is a sense of terror, fear, horror in the audience who reading it or seeing it. And the last is catharsis. It's a sense of relief because it has been freed from the factors from pity and terror. And the second is Horace or Horatius. Consider that a good work of art, including literature, always fulfill two criteria, namely duos et util, taste of pleasure, and benefit or usefulness. Literary must be good, interesting, and give pleasure. Of course, this enjoyment is only owned by qualified readers. Literature must provide benefit or uses, namely inner wealth, insight into life, and act. Next. And the third is the success of Jane Austen and other authors in overcoming the dilemma. Guided by aesthetics and moral domains, gave birth to other criteria. There is that form and content that must be balanced. Um, the form is the method or technique of writing, while the content is the thoughts that are written in literature. And the last is from E.M. Foster, a novelist and literary theorist. Theorist, in aspect of the novel, writes about stories and plots, as well as character and characterizations. A story is an event that is followed by another, and so on. Meanwhile, the plot is a series of events bound by cause and effects. And also, E.M. Foster divided character into two different types. The first one is a round character, and the second one is a flat character. The round character is like the main character in the drama or in the novel. He can he has ability to change, learn from experience, and adapt to circumstances. And but for the flat character or the sub main character, he are the quite opposite from the round character. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much. Is there any question? Ini udah belum sih?
Finish?
Udah.
Udah. Penutup. Langsung aja.
Ya, tutup aja dah. Ntar gue potong.
Okay, maybe the material from us is enough up here, and forgive us if there are many mistakes, and thanks for your attention. I say to you all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.